So I have a shower curtain hook taped to the back of my banner, so it actually is readable. Then I have digitally printed cardstock squares, Velcro dotted to the back of the back booth. The only thing I got right that felt good about was turning my freaking table sideways. I look over, I'm like, damn, look at that booth. They got freaking mic arms, they've got lights, they've got the backdrop, they got merch. I have tiles and a ghetto banner. The only thing I got right was turning my table.
You're listening to the Angry Designer Podcast, where we help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive. This week, we're bringing you a live recording from Creative South 2024, beginning a new series of event-based interviews called The Angry Designers Live.
All right, what's up, everybody? We are live from Creative South, and not only are we live, but we are live with another graphic design podcast guy here. Look at this. This should be like the battle of the podcasts. We like arm wrestle or whipple back. We don't do that. We have drink-offs.
Exactly.
It's the sorry podcast.
Yeah, we should have that, like Molson Canadians. We should have those here.
Oh,
really
man,
represent.
we really should, right? Molson Canadians.
Plus, then you got a sponsorship pitch.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, shit, dude. No, so we got Dave Hopkins.
Hello, gentlemen.
Right, and you have the Quickie Design Podcast.
Yeah,
okay?
I've been doing that old chestnut for a few years now.
Holy dude, like you are like the originator of all. Well, okay, maybe not.
Definitely not.
But you're like in like what episode, like 5,000 or something like that?
No. We're just we're creeping up on 300 here. I probably have 300 recorded or very close to.
Yeah.
But just not public. I've got about 8 in the bank right now.
Holy jeez,
And
dude.
yeah, you know, being totally transparent, I fell off the weekly posting of them all, just prepping and planning for this event.
Yeah.
Just got sidelined a little, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
I saw you do a couple, so you're back on. You
Yeah,
got a
we
couple
had
extra ones you can come back.
Yeah, I had 3 pre-booked to do here.
Oh, damn.
Didn't want to pre-book anymore because I didn't know what to expect. And, you know, first time, literally, this podcast has been out of my basement.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know,
weird,
right? It's a
right?
whole new world.
Yes.
Yeah, but you keep yourself busy with other things. You got the podcast, you got Print Design Academy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm so happy at this event because, I mean, so unfortunately, we haven't been listening to speakers.
No.
We've been stuck in this vendor's hall, but
Yep.
we are surrounded by so much talent.
Yep.
And so much of this is print, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like it kind of. So when we started, our whole world was only print, right?
Yep.
And then it transitioned to web,
Yep.
right? And now it's like, and then like literally half the print shops died, shut down. They like burned the Heidelbergs because they're like,
got
we're
wild
never
for a
going to go
while."
back to print ever
Yeah.
again, right? And it is just like every single booth here, everybody's got print, and it's
print
amazing.
Literally
Like, did
right
you see this
behind
guy's
you,
screen
they're
printers?
slanging screen print. Just live screen printing,
The
slanging
shit
posters.
that this guy's doing, he's like full color.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's not, like, we're not talking about CMYK. We're talking about low cyan, high cyan, low magenta, high, like,
wild.
he has like 13. He said that one was like 13 screen colors.
Gosh.
Right? I know. It's
Yeah.
like photorealistic, this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So, you know, that's native screen printing, right?
native
Yeah, and
screen.
I unfortunately spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money at this event. But I mean, it must make you feel good that print's coming back.
I love it.
Yeah.
It never went away. It's just consistently evolved.
Yes.
You know, back in the day, you
Oh,
had
nice.
everybody printing their giant catalogs of all of their products and all of their prices listed and all of those sort of things.
Yeah.
But that went away. I mean, thankfully, except for Uline. Uline still does those.
Yeah,
You
they
guys
do.
get the Uline catalogs?
Man, do we have the Uline catalogs? they're put in our foundation of our building. They're
Yeah,
so
exactly. Prop up everything.
and they send one every week, for God's sake.
yeah, every week.
Oh my
Just a
God.
new cover, I feel like. That's it.
Yeah. You know, you hear those stories about the rainforest and the Amazon being burnt.
Yeah.
It's because of the Uline
'Cause the Uline
catalogs.
catalogs. I honestly wonder if Uline has their own print shop. Like they do it
they
at such a
must.
volume.
I know.
And it's they're the only guys putting catalogs together.
Yeah.
But what it evolved into is what designers can really appreciate is the lookbooks, the beautiful bespoke pieces.
you're right.
Where there's beautiful paper. And Mohawk has this tagline, or Casey at Mohawk, who's not there anymore, but I don't know if she came up with this line, but doing fewer, nicer things. Right? So you're not doing these giant catalog runs anymore.
yeah.
You're doing a select shorter run of things, but on beautiful paper, thoughtfully like embellished with print techniques, and you're distributing to like your top customers.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nicer thing, a nicer feel, which we can all appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, did you see Mr. Cup stuff?
No, I haven't even really walked around that side. I've been on this side a bunch, but I got to hop over there.
Like, I mean, he's got some beautiful offset. He's got some, and it's like not just offset, but then also embossed offset, right? Like, it's just, and it kind of feels nice to come back because that analog side of this business has been missing so long. There's a whole generation of graphic designers that have no fucking idea what this is like.
Yes.
They have no idea what they're missing.
Okay, so you touch on a couple of things that we are super passionate about at Print Design Academy. And so obviously we've got our courses and all that kind of jazz, but I want to talk about the free events that we do. Because the Color Bar Challenge, which you just talked about, where it's this lost art, designers are missing the skills and abilities and confidence to approach this stuff. And naturally, when you have fewer and fewer designers creating it, what's going to happen to the print industry? It's going to get slower and slower. So we put on the Color Bar Challenge, and this last time we got the VHS sleeves on our table.
Amazing.
Yeah, slightly embarrassing, but also awesome.
You look great in tights, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yes. And we put this event on because designers have these little hurdles that they need to hop over in order to get that traction and be like, I can do print. I can actually do it. Everybody has print around. We've got stickers. We've got notebooks. We've got all these cool things literally around us all the time. And connecting the dots that somebody designed that. Somebody printed that. Ink, paper, all that stuff. Somebody trimmed it. Somebody put it into that pad, made a book out of that stuff. And connecting those dots for designers and giving them at least some of the skills that they would need to start approaching this stuff is so important. So in this challenge, we just directly reflect or tackle files. You know what? That's one of the biggest questions we get. How do I set up my files for print? How do I know if they're print ready?
Yeah, good point, actually.
So we choreographed, filmed, and edited and everything, a full 20-minute design-themed aerobics video wearing questionable costumes, questionable
80s themed,
close-ups on the camera. And we put this together as sort of like my inner theater kid coming out, and we got to have fun with it. But the more fun you can have while you're teaching something practical, the better the engagement, the more they're going to take in this knowledge. And so we had, I think, 550 designers sign up to participate. Things happened along the way, so we only ended up with about 60 final files submitted.
That's a lot.
Which is still pretty good.
Holy.
Right? So after the week challenge, then everybody, you've got to vote on what their favorite designs were. A big anonymous vote. And the top 6 designs, we actually printed, die cut, and we sent a copy to the designers, and we kept a copy for ourselves. So that's how it all went down. And for all of them, all 6 of them, it was their first time designing something, going through the editing process of like making that file print ready, seeing it on press. It was digitally printed, so like we sent them some footage and stuff. And then they got to hold it in their hand.
And that's
it's like what an experience,
feeling,
right?
dude. Oh, dude. Honestly, I when I was single, I used to take girls on dates to the shopping center, right? We would go to the grocery store and I'd be like, oh, I did that package design. Oh, this one's one of them. Oh, look at this. Another one. There is something so satisfying about touching and feeling and seeing your design like in like 3D form on a shelf. Like my kids are tired of still seeing some of the, every time we go into the same store, my same work is still there on the dispenser. And I'm like, I did that. And they're like, yes, Dad, we know, right? But it's true. And it's like, it's, for the longest time, everybody thought it was unattainable for a digital designer to do package design or a graphic, like they thought it was this untouched world that only specialists did. But the reality is, I mean, as designers, I mean, it's okay to be a generalist and be able to know how to both, create files that are meant for digital and then create files that are meant for print.
Yes, I completely agree. And what we talk about is that, even if I'm a logo designer and that's what I do, I don't want to venture elsewhere. I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Keep doing what you do. Focus on that. I love it. But it still is important for you to understand this world. Because when you have a client come to you with a design problem, they're like, oh, no, we just need a new website. That's all. No, we just need a new logo. Like, well, when you're doing your new logo, you need new business cards. You need the basic stationery at the very least, if not new packaging or whatever the product is. So, if you can pick up on some of that business, happy days, you're growing your business.
Right.
The other side of that is, I don't know if you can actually solve a client's design problem if you don't understand all of the possible solutions.
Agreed. 100%.
It might not just be a logo. There's other bits and pieces in there.
Yeah.
And if you can even if you don't want to design it,
Yep.
if you can say,
Yep.
you know what, you're also going to need some print. You should also get a little bit of packaging design.
Yeah.
Your website should use a revamp. Talk to this guy,
Yes.
talk to this guy. If you're not going to do it, that's cool.
Yeah.
But at least being able to solve that design problem in a more well-rounded way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I never understood the mentality of just, I support niching down 100%.
Yes.
We're a niche agency. It has served us well. But, I just can't imagine turning away business when it's still design work in one way or another. I mean, the bigger mission for design is to solve a customer's problems, all their problems.
Yep.
It's not just going to be delivering a brand identity and walking away from it.
Correct.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
So you ran Print Design Summits
Yes.
a little
that
while
just
ago.
wrapped up in February.
Right,
Yep.
right. And how'd that end up going?
It, again, continually blows my mind.
Yeah.
So it was only the second year that we've ever done it.
Yep, yep.
And I still want your feedback from it, so feel free to publicize that
Dude.
now.
Well, dude, I was in there and I was having conversations. I was watching the feed. I somehow the first day really messed up for me. I couldn't find my registration. That was the only issue I had.
Yes.
It's like I registered, I was on the website, but then I'd be like, okay, but I'm out.
Yep.
Because I knew the first 2 days I was going to be mobile, and I was trying to log in, and it was like, nope, you have to go back. Anyway, whatever,
I
right?
hear you, man.
But then when I got back home on the Saturday and the Sunday, I was able to do it through my laptop. I logged in. I'm talking to people. Like, it was just a fun experience. And
Thank you for
I was
saying
so
that.
happy to see how many people there were that were engaged. I mean, again, 'cause
That's what kills me, right?
You know, like, and that's it. And it makes me, it almost restored my faith back into this whole space. Because I can't imagine that they were all older people like us. I'm kind of thinking there was all new, young, fresh designers.
It's interesting. So backing up just a little bit, second year we've done it. First year we put it out there and we're like, I don't know what the reception's going to be on this, but let's try it. Let's just do it. Because our whole model is, not model or motto, is we just want more designers to do great print, right? To understand the fundamentals of it. So we got membership and courses, but it's the free events where we want, at least like at scale, come here, learn some skills. Don't pay us anything, just go great print, please. Right? So that's what we want. So decided to put this event on and wrapped it up after 3 days, and we ended up with 1,300 registrants. We had, I think, 13 speakers. Great sponsors signed on, big names like Pantone and Mohawk Paper. Like when you have that kind of caliber coming on board, you're like, wait a second, are we doing something okay?
Yeah, right.
So the second year coming around, I'm like, if I can just hit 2,000 people. 700 more where we got. We were now 5 days this year, 20 speakers. I'm like, that should be possible. I should be able to do that. We ended up with over 2,500 registrants.
Wow.
It went phenomenal.
Dude.
Literally doubled everything.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So I guess now we set the precedent that we need to double every year.
Well, because you're all in on this one.
I went all in.
Right? And I mean, I was proud, and I know the feeling, and this is good. This is positive. This means the world needs this. Does this community needs this? I mean, half of these people are learning all these skills from trial and error. And I mean, that's expensive.
Yes, it's expensive.
It's expensive
and it's great
to
when
do.
you're in an agency and you can learn on somebody else's dollar, right? Right, Sean? Am I right?
Absolutely.
I did that a little bit.
Exactly. But we added, so basically, that wrapped up, and it was phenomenal. It went really good. Lots of reception was great from it. And just seeing so touching on what you were saying earlier about how older guys, coming in and wanting to be like, or maybe it's all students. We did each day to be entered to win the prizes that we were giving away, you had to answer a question. So on the final day, we went all out and we're like, here's the question, but it's actually 5 questions, and fill out this form, and please, we're trying to just find out who's attending these things.
Cool.
So we asked, how would you describe yourself, kind of thing, like, are you a designer, are you an illustrator, are you whatever, how long you've been in your career for, what level or how long, what's your education level, I think I asked as well, basically to find out who's attending these things. And it was such a huge mix of people who are 1 to 3 years into their career, 10 plus years in their career. It's like a pretty damn even split.
Wow.
And I was like, that's shocking to me, because all along we were operating as like, this is probably students. It's probably students or designers newer to the field who are just wanting to like pick up some bits and pieces from it or watch a couple presentations.
You know what,
so
though? I
shocked
bet
by
you,
it.
though, if you think about it, like people with 10 years experience probably still grew up. They wouldn't have the print experience that we had starting off, because there was that whole, I remember it was like 2010, 2012, print, like everybody jumped on web.
Yeah.
Okay, number one. Number two, the digital printing came in board, right?
Yeah.
Digital printing is almost not dummy proof, but you could send them RGB files
Yeah.
and they'll convert them and make them look okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, the big difference is now people didn't have to get thousands of something printed
Yeah.
because to bring the prices down. Now they could just get 50 for a weekend because they were at a trade show.
Yeah.
So, the whole industry suffered. People wanted to pay less for design because now they only needed it for 50 pieces instead of 5,000. The investment was less. And so it had a big effect. So these people now, in that maybe, I don't know, I was going to say like maybe the 10, 12, 15, they probably need this foundation. They need your knowledge, I think. Anyway.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not my knowledge. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
put that on,
Fair,
but like
fair,
the speakers
fair.
that we were having, the way that we try and put these events on is like, let's categorize this. One
Yes.
day is packaging, one day is commercial print, one day is dedicated to business, because that's important to me. Like I come from the print side, I don't come from the design side. So there's many skills and abilities that I see out there that blow my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't even know how to begin to tackle it. You guys even coming together and like designing a logo, designing a shirt. Like,
Dude, I
don't
know, right? I know.
Like all this stuff. So, it's the speakers and having a well-rounded event that attracts, I think, just this wide variety of people.
Yeah.
Diverse experience levels and all of those sort of things.
Yeah.
So that's important for us to sort of understand who's attending so we can just continue to do cool events.
Yeah.
That they really appreciate.
Like, do you think it's actually going to grow to more than one event a year?
No. That would be wild.
No. Okay. No, like, I mean, like,
I had a little bit of PTSD. Just like that. That was so much work.
You almost ran.
Yeah, right.
I'm out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, he just
He
left.
just left the building.
Dave is
Dave.
gone. He's literally sprinting out.
Yeah.
So how do you reach more people with this?
That is a great question.
Because the need is there,
I think it
and
starts
people
with,
are appreciating
with
it.
just continuing between these events, because we do one in like early in the year, February-ish, and then the other one in the fall. It's in between those events, just continuing to provide value and helping people find us.
Yeah,
like that's really
yeah.
that's the game of business, right?
It's a
That's the
hard
game of like
game
what
right
you're
now to
doing.
play.
But it's important. And also, this kind of rounds back into that business day that we do in the summit. I think it's so important for designers to understand business. I mean, how long have you been running your studio for?
Jeez, we're with our 25th year. 26,
Wow.
actually. This year's 26.
That's amazing. Good
That's
for
kinda
you guys.
crazy, right? I know. The industry has changed so much, and it's cool. But there's like 5 huge pivots in the space.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's come full circle, and now it's the fact that we're exiting this whole quarter century of experience that it seems like it's all full circle. Everything's come together. Web, print, guerrilla marketing, because now it's gone back to local, right? Like hyper local markets. It's and it's really cool.
There, speaking of that, that full circle thing, and you were talking earlier about like little quantities and stuff on things. But the technology has kind of followed that in the print
it has.
game.
Yeah.
So before, you wanted to print something, $1,000 is the starting price.
Yep.
You want
Right.
something, $1,000.
Yep.
That'll get you
It
plates,
was
plates and one
$1,000.
copy.
Plates and one
right?
copy.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you've got companies like Scodex, which we have samples for on our desk, and we've been showing people that are doing digital embellishments that are ridiculous. Digital.
Cool.
Every single sheet can have different copy, different content
way.
in foil.
Yeah.
In embellishment.
That's incredible,
And you're like, you think of, people are doing these bespoke pieces, these smaller quantity pieces.
yep.
Even in the direct mail world, you want to be real targeted, you
Yeah.
got to personalize that piece. And now if you can do that in foil, in spot gloss, in raised spot gloss.
Yeah.
Adding all of those elements together. Can printing used to be labels, shrink sleeves, or directly to cam.
Yeah.
If you're doing 100,000 per SKU
I know,
minimum,
ridiculous.
for a total of 1 million or whatever crazy number it was. Now you can do digitally printed cans, direct to cam.
Yep.
Eliminate the label, eliminate the adhesive, eliminate the waste that comes with that, eliminate the shrink sleeve. No need for that plastic shrink sleeve anymore. Direct to cam.
Yeah.
And literally every month it's getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
So
That's
the approachability
insane.
and, as a designer starting out, they're like, well, I'm not printing 4,000 cans. No, you're not. But if you can now cost effectively build a physical portfolio of your can designs
Oh,
for
that's awesome,
way more
dude.
cost effective than you could ever approach a label or something like that.
geez, do you remember the process it used to be? Like, you'd have to build something. You'd have to first design.
Yeah.
Then you had to run it through, make sure, all your layers were correct, your colors were correct, right? And that's not to mention if you wanted to add any spot or anything like that.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to send it to get film done.
Yes.
And I remember that we would have to send our file. We would drive them out on the zip drive.
Yep.
Right? Our 100 megabyte iOmega zip drive.
Yeah.
Deliver it to them 3 days later.
Yeah.
Right? Because these guys were like king.
Yeah.
Then they would give you back the film with the color key, and you'd have, I still have one of those where it's like you can actually, I show my kids because they think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Because they look at a full color picture, but they don't know what goes on. And then
What it's about.
you take that and then you take it to the print company, right? And you have to wait for your time on press.
Yeah.
Then you'd be standing there waiting for your proof because you didn't get any chances at this, right?
That's right.
It was
You weren't
nuts,
there.
the process.
You weren't there. To approve
Oh yeah.
it. It could go
It was like you're
quite easily. Yeah.
Dude, I had stuff. We would run print runs of in the thousands, and you'd come back and you'd be like, typo.
No,
and you were
that's
screwed.
Yep.
They didn't care. The film company didn't care. The print shop didn't care. You were thousands. Yeah, we're now, this is kind of a great world. So if you can get that kind of that's a custom print. Like that's such
It
an
really
effort
is.
to get done.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Wow, that opens up a whole new world to designers. And they wouldn't know unless there is places like yours that actually teach people
like the
this
Print
shit.
Design Summit, like just even our social media channels where we're talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not us, with all of the information. It's like we're just finding it. We want you to know about it.
Well, you're
because
putting
it's
it all in
really
one place,
cool.
right? Yeah. Oh, dude, that's
Awesome stuff you
fantastic,
can do.
though, right?
Printing stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
Like it's
It
just
is.
so
It really
freaking
is.
fun.
It is.
Right?
There's
It is.
a fun element to it, right?
Well,
It's like
yeah.
the next stage of what you're designing.
Dude, how fun would this haul be if all we did is walk around and look at people's monitors of their artwork? And it's like, I'll buy that
great
NFT,
point.
please. I'll
Yeah.
buy this NFT,
exactly.
please.
Can you email that to me? Please? Yeah, I'd
Like,
love
it's
that.
like, no,
It just
like
doesn't
it's
work.
true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is all great because it's so tactile and so
Yeah.
and then just feeling everything it's amazing.
All that, but even I got to give you guys props on the booth because as soon as you
Thank
set it
you.
up, I'm like, damn, that looks good.
Well, we
It's
thought we'd
so
have fun
cool
with
looking,
this.
and the satisfaction I'm sure you had.
When we-
it's the design isn't complex.
Nope.
But when you get it that size on
Yeah.
the right
There's
substrate, and you
something-
put it up, you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
Look at
It
that.
actually
There's
worked out
something
all
about the
right.
size of it that's impressive too,
Right?
It just makes
you don't
a
get
statement.
that on a tiny screen again, right?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Super rewarding, and you guys did an
Thanks, man.
amazing
I
job
appreciate
putting
that.
this together.
I appreciate that. Well, you know what? And again, this was our chance to finally meet up with some people, and it was cool. We needed to represent. Right? That's what we had to do. We had to
stand up. They gotta know who we are.
But you know what? In all fairness, if this was our one chance
Yeah.
out here in public, so if we came looking like a backyard organization,
Yeah.
then everything that we have been preaching and talking about and saying this is what we've done over the past 25 years, the credibility we lost.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you didn't show up with all your print samples, dude,
Yeah.
and you just had a couple little hack together stuff. I mean, who could take Print Design Academy serious, right? Yeah. No. Thanks.
Can I ask you
appreciate
guys
that.
about the podcast, your podcast?
Yeah, sure.
So give me the story of the early days. Like you guys are talking a little bit about wanting to put the podcast together, wanting to do it. What was that first episode gut feeling? You finish recording, you turn off the cameras. How does it feel?
Oh my God! Well, the first episode was scary as shit because you know what? Even
I
the
wanna
first
get you to say that.
10,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was scary as shit because. The big thing is, it's like, I think if you listen to the first 10 episodes, we were very calm.
Yes.
Yeah.
The laugh would be like a little, I don't even know who the hell I was because I was speaking with
Yeah.
a lower voice.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and it came to a point where I think in the end, I was like, wow, who gives a fuck? If they're going to like
screw it.
me,
Yeah.
for me, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when we started loosening up and having fun with it. But it was scary as hell. And we're not for everybody. I know that. Right. But I mean, the people that do like us and appreciate us, they keep coming back. Right.
Yeah, I got the story when we did the Quickie, and I loved hearing their story and where you guys both came from and your intros to design and all that kind of thing, and the story of the studio and how you guys came together and all of that. I loved hearing that.
Yeah.
And but I love hearing also like part of the conversations that I've been having with different people here, like just people stopping by the booth, but also the episodes is like this. The summary of them is we're all human.
Fuck yeah.
And like talking to the speakers who are going up there who have done tons of speaking gigs, I'm like, do you still get nervous? Like, yeah, you still do. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's so good.
Dude, I was so refreshing to hear Christy say that she still goes through imposter syndrome, because I have talked to so many people and they're like, well, no, I don't do that anymore. I don't. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Come on. We all experience that. No matter what level of success, you have to. Because, I mean, Nick said it great. He's like, it keeps you honest. It keeps you hustling. It makes you, it's like, what was it? If you don't have butterflies in your stomach before, the minute before that gun, when you're in a 100-meter sprint, you're not trying that hard, right? Like,
you're not in it.
You're not engaged. You're not committed to it. So, it was, dude.
Is this the first time you brought this show on the road?
100%.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Right? So, your first time at Creative South.
Yep.
First time bringing the show on the road.
Yep. And even and even yesterday, the first interview compared to now, big difference.
Yeah, big time. Yeah,
right? Because I think yesterday was a little more formal, the first one. Okay, make sure we're checking all the boxes. Now, dude, it was like no agenda. We just sat down now. It's like we're having a beer.
Yeah,
this is the whole.
We should have a beer.
I know. Damn it. Guys. Beer us. Beer.
Three Canadians.
Sorry, I really messed your audio by hitting the table. I'm sorry.
No. That's what we got these cushions in place for, right?
Yeah, but
fun.
it's cool. And doing stuff like that, like you've got 25 years in business, you've been in tough meetings, you've had tough clients, you've been through all of that. You still feel nervous going live here, bringing this here? You have those doubts?
No, dude. Again, so we set up. Yeah. So we came, this lets you know, right? So we set up everything, and then it was like a panel style. The table was straight out, facing forward, and it looked great. But then as we're leaving, I look over at you and I'm like, fuck, this guy's like done 300 episodes. This makes sense.
Okay, let me paint this picture just a little bit for you.
He's so smart.
Look at it. It's just like, I believe that.
People need to understand, I have a tiny little banner up top hanging from shower curtain hooks where I missed the middle grommet, so I have a shower curtain hook taped to the middle back of my banner, so it actually is readable. Then I have digitally printed cardstock squares, Velcro dotted to the back booth. The only thing I got right that felt good about was turning my freaking table sideways. I look over, I'm like, damn, look at that booth. They got freaking mic arms, they've got lights, they've got the backdrop, they got merch. I have tiles and a ghetto banner. The only thing I got right was turning my table. And when you told me we saw your table and we're going to turn our table, I was like, oh my God, I did something right.
Oh, that is a funny.
Oh my God. Well, you got that right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this started for me, like packing up for this trip. Print Design Academy, I'm like, we're bringing swatch books and Pantone books and notebooks and solid metal loops. How many heavy things can we put in a suitcase?
Yeah. Right.
Our first go around packing, our suitcase was 83 pounds.
Oh.
And if you know anything about airlines, the limit is 50.
Yeah.
50 pounds.
No way. How'd you do it?
So we waited on the scale and I'm like, there is no way I'm boarding with that. Let me just get a quote from Delta on what it cost to bring this aboard. Because I packed it so nice. It was all like tucked in.
Yeah.
And the estimate from Delta was instead of $35 to bring that, it was $240 US. And I'm like, let's figure out a different system. So we ditched some loops, we ditched some notebooks, we split into two and we made it, and it was only $70 US instead of the astronomical price of bringing it across. But doing things like this, bringing your show on the road, us being here for the first time, like the firsts of those things, we're just learning so much on the spot of things we would do better, things we would do differently next time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's the theme of this event, theme of the conversations that we've had, the theme of all these things is like, it might suck. It might not be exactly what you want it to be. It might not be perfect.
Yep, exactly.
But you're there, you showed up, you did it, and you learned.
Yeah. You showed up.
Exactly.
And I think that's what people are so scared about.
Yep.
They're so terrified to just show up. They decide not to do it, period.
Yeah.
How the hell are you going to know? What's that funny saying? A shooter's got to shoot. right? Doesn't mean you're going to get. It doesn't mean that you're going to get every basket. But I mean, if that's what you do and then that's the goal, you got to try.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's a numbers game?
There's something exhilarating about that live off the floor. You don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Exactly.
Kind of, right?
Yeah. It's like if you're not a little bit scared doing it, you're not trying hard. You're not
trying.
testing. You're not pushing.
Or you don't
growing.
care enough. Or
yes,
anything.
or you don't care. If you just went into it like whatever, you don't care enough.
Yeah.
So I love it.
That was
been
great.
amazing.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That was so funny. Oh my God, what a good laugh.
That was,
I haven't
that
laughed
was
that hard.
awesome. That was the funny.
So before
And it's funny, and I didn't even notice anything else he said. It was just like, you see what a seasoned professional who knows what they're doing does? He turned the table.
you're all like trying to give me props on the table. I'm like, no, let me
Wait
set
a
this
second.
But I thought
straight.
it was brilliant, and I was like, that's
the only
experience.
thing I felt like I nailed.
Yeah, that was
Oh
our.
my
that was
God.
Yeah. So it's
Well, you were right 100% on that one. Let me tell you.
well, I'm
'cause that
so
made a
glad it
difference.
worked out for you guys. Honestly, I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, that panel thing was weird.
So
now that I
before
think
we
about it.
bring this sucker home,
Yeah.
I want to say your podcast is amazing.
Oh, dude, thank
It's so
you.
good. You get into the fun and the laugh, the real people part of it.
Yeah.
Right. You're not afraid to be yourself, which I freaking love to see. That's hard to do.
Oh,
That's
dude,
hard to
thank
do
you,
when you're
man.
out in the public space like that.
Yeah.
So mad props to you guys for doing that. And the mindset stuff that you talk about, the struggles that you talk about, like just that
How do you not love
storytelling.
this guy?
Yeah, I
The
know,
storytelling
right?
is where it is, and you
Yeah.
guys have so much experience
I
to share.
appreciate that,
so
man.
keep going. Like
Yeah.
just
Well, dude, right from the start, like I said, you were motivation because you were like so far ahead. You were you know, and I mean the people that you talked to and stuff. You were our motivation.
Thank
you know,
you for
on how
saying
to
that.
like you set that standard for us to try to get to right, and we're like, okay, well, we have to at least do all this kind of stuff
My
because
little
this guy's
basement
killing
show.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
little
see,
basement
who
show.
would have known,
Yeah.
right? Like seriously, no, you're killing it.
Thank you.
Oh fuck, no.
Heavyweights on that little basement show that you had. Like, some really
You
good,
know,
really good, talented people.
I honestly look back sometimes and I'm like, who did I talk to? Yeah. So it's just been by fluke,
Everybody.
by connections and
Like
referrals.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's been cool, but I still say to people like, start at 50 and move forward.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I started figuring it out around 50.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
amazing guests before that, so there's little gems there.
Yeah.
Just a little confidence in me. I was just like, 50,
Yeah,
50 is when
fair.
it catches.
It's a tough
But,
game.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
Do you still feel confident moving forward with Print Academy?
pardon me?
Like, because you were all in with Print Academy, right?
Yeah,
like
all
with
in.
just, you know, like educating people on print. You still feeling the same way?
100%.
Awesome.
Even
Awesome.
more. Even
Good.
more from this event.
Oh,
So-
dude, that makes me so happy.
And so this was an opportunity for us. We partnered with Mohawk Paper for our little giveaway.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we thought, let's just make a brochure about us. That was the initial idea.
Yep.
And we sort of got thinking about it a bit more. I'm like, but we're a print design academy. We have to teach something. We want
Yeah.
designers to walk away with not just, here's who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like,
yeah.
take this away. And even if you don't go to a free event, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't join a membership with us, just learn from this.
Yes.
So we ended up coming with the idea of teaching designers how paper can change your design.
Beautiful.
So we printed 4 different types of paper, partnered with Mohawk Paper on it.
Yep.
And the printer that I started my print career with, Globe Printers,
Cool.
out of Abbotsford.
Cool.
So teamed up with them, and we got 4 different shades of paper, some with texture, some without texture, some smoother, all that. And we got the same inside design, the same poster design in all of them. There's 7 or 8 photos,
Yep.
a bunch of different fonts, a couple of like CMYK print target kind
Yep.
of things, right? Things to like see how the colors, how the fonts, how the mood, how the emotion of the piece changes depending on what paper you're printing it on.
Yep.
So we got pictures of icebergs in there. You know, you're looking at icebergs on a craft flecked stock. You're like, that's kind of weird. But then you're looking at like this nature photo on the craft paper, like, but that fits.
Yeah,
Right? So
right?
you start to see how paper is going to affect and change your design.
Yes.
And so this is the first, again, like public piece that we're just like giving away. That's a teaching tool.
That's amazing.
So I'm really
dude.
excited to.
That's a crazy valuable tool.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so
you should
please
like
take
offer
some.
that. Yeah. Oh yeah. All
Yeah.
right. That's great though
because
because
they're heavy as shit.
the real
Ship
reason,
it
right?
back.
No, but you're so right because I remember like just you'd have to obsess over
Yeah.
the paper because it really changed the outcome of the piece.
Yeah.
Right. I completely. You forget so much about this kind of stuff.
And in those moments, you're like, yeah, that feels like a good idea. And that's
Yeah.
like in your head. And I'm
Yeah.
telling Gabby, I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea. She's like, yeah, it's a good idea.
Good.
So I reached out to Mohawk Paper and I'm like, this is what we want to do. Can I get 100 sheets of each of these papers, and we'll print some and I'll send you a couple copies.
Yeah.
the reply was, "That's an amazing idea. We'll send you 1,000 sheets of each, print all of them, and send us as many as you can, and we'll give them to our reps, and they'll distribute them to all the studios that they talk to and designers they talk to throughout North America."
Sweet, dude.
So
That's
immediate,
huge.
like, that's amazing, so exciting, but also, oh shit, like this has to be good.
Yeah.
Because it's now going that far, not
you put
just
your
this
stamp
little
on it?
digital thing and event. Oh yeah,
Good, good,
Our
good,
branding
good,
is on
good.
it. Mohawk's branding is on it.
Perfect.
Information about us, but the core of it is this is a teaching piece.
Yeah.
Here's the examples. Learn from it.
Cool.
So excited about how it turned out.
Yeah.
Excited the journey that we're on, and you'll attest to this in business, is that there are many days where I'm just like, man, is this gonna work?
I know.
Like, will this work? And that'll go on for 4 or 5 days where you're trudging along. You're pushing yourself to get through what you got to do because you're just, for whatever reason, mentally, you're like, I don't know about this. I feel very good about it, but it just, I don't know.
Yeah,
and
no,
then
I
you
hear
have
you.
days where it all comes together and you get that external, like, this is awesome. And you're like, okay, I got it.
Everybody has to push through.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Totally.
No, you're doing the right thing, dude. You can't stop at this
I
point.
appreciate you
I'm
saying that. I
glad.
really do.
I am glad it's working out.
Definitely.
Every that first, it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
When I remember when you're like, I'm all in. I'm like, wow, like, yes,
Yeah.
we need that. I know it's scary as hell, but go through, like, persevere if you can as much.
Yep.
I'm glad it is, dude.
Yep.
Because we need that. The whole market needs that. All graphic designers need this.
100%.
So rock on, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we had this.
Yes.
I love this.
The only way it could have been better is if we had beer, damn it. Beer. All right.
Awesome.
Well, guys, listen, I hope you guys got something out of this. Of course, if you want more information on Print Design Academy, where do they go?
Printdesignacademy.com. And at the very least,
Yeah.
go to our YouTube channel, Print Design Academy, obviously,
Yeah.
and watch us dance around in shorts that are way too short and
see
learn
this.
some design aerobics moves. At the very least, go do some design aerobics. That's
It was damn hot. That's all I gotta say. 80s damn hot.
It's great. Oh my God.
All right, please show the love, respect. Hit Dave up, hit up Print Design Academy, and when the summit comes this year, sign the fuck up. Okay, do it.
Yeah, Color Bar Challenge is coming in the fall. Summit will be Feb 2025.
Oh yeah, Feb. So
Yeah,
we're almost a year.
there.
All right, sweet.
Beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen, for
All
having
right,
me. This has
everybody.
been awesome.
My name's Massimo.
My name is Sean.
And you are?
Dave from Print Design Academy.
Stay creative.
Stay angry.
Peace.